Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final mock draft with the Smudge Cam. I have the new cam set up right here. I don't know if you guys can see. Well, you can see my OBS, but there's the Smudge Cam here somewhere, or the new cam here somewhere. But this is the last official mock draft with the non-Smudge Cam. So, or with the Smudge Cam. Sorry, I'm getting my things mixed up here. So let's get to it. Um, as I'm doing more research and as I'm finding out more things about the college football playoffs and players, I realized that the people around analysts or even like some social media people like don't think that this draft is very like has very top heavy talent, like very like top. I don't know how to describe, like very very top talent, like where there's a bunch of people, like there's constant blue chip players. It's not really like that. I can agree with that because there's a lot of depth pieces. This college draft or this draft class is very deep, but there's not a lot of top end prospects, which kind of makes it a little harder to pick for different teams, and it fluctuates a lot. And one bad week can ruin your draft stock, or a bad meeting or a bad combine performance can ruin everything for you. So can drop you bad pro day, bad anything, literally bad anything. You mess up on something, and your stock might fall, which is the problem. Like if you had Fernando Mendoza and like the Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jane Daniels draft class, is he gonna go first round? He might be like a third round prospect in that area, but again, it's not about what it would have been. It's about now, and Mendoza is the best QB prospect we have now. Dante Moore, second best or first best. You can vice flip them. We will. Time will tell how much organizations love them and how the pro days and physicals actually go. But as of right now, of all the information I have the Raiders taking Mendoza right now, and Mendoza again, he's not the best, most athletic quarterback. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Caleb Williams. He's not insert Josh Allen. He's not a bunch of people. Um, he's more of a leader, and he's accurate, and that's all you can ask for. That's what you want for a quarterback. He's accurate, he's a leader, and he's clutch, and he can win when you want him to. And he's very coachable. He's a very likable guy. He's gonna be good in the locker room. He's gonna be good on the field. You're just gonna take your guy here. He doesn't have the highest ceiling in the world. He doesn't have the lowest floor in the world. So take the guy when you can. He might change the franchise just off of his leadership, and that's what you want. The Jets will take Dante Moore. Same thing again. Dante Moore is a little different though. Dante Moore is a little more athletic, a little more poised. I think his pocket presence is very good. I really like his overall just idea of playing quarterback. I mean, he can bail you out sometimes, and he's just a very good quarterback. The Jets need a quarterback, and it's not a bad situation to be in. The more and more I'm looking at the Jets roster on paper, the more and more I like Dante Moore going here. And people are saying he's gonna go back to school. I don't agree at all. $45 million will change your life. So take the rookie guarantee money, and you're not gonna get much better than a second overall pick. And only you'll go first, and he might go first too. There's no guarantee he'll go second. So I like this pick for the Jets too, and for the Cardinals, it's really a bad draw here. Even if Mendoza or Moore were available, I don't know if I would take him, and that's an interesting way to think about it. But I have my cat right in front of me, so I'm trying to see some of the picks I can do. But how to get a quick camera change? So I'm back here. I guess I'm back here. So there's a lot of talent we can go here. I'm sorry if I'm not talking to the mic. It's my fucking cat, but. Last fight, he's falling apart. So yeah, you got the Cardinals here. I don't know how much I'm gonna cut out of this. You might just see me fail a million times. I might do a compilation, but anyways, there's a lot of things you can go here. I think people have Gooseby going. I don't think he is. He's worth that first round pick. I think. Oh my god, it's really struggling here. Okay, well there's this. I don't think Gooseby goes up here. I think you have to take a tackle here no matter what. Tackle's a big need, guard's a big need, but there's no. Yeah, you can take anything. I'm gonna go with Fano. I think Fano is a good draft pick. He's been pretty good. The tape's been okay this year, but you need a tackle here, and sometimes you gotta reach. This guy, I don't think is gonna go. This guy might go top 5 this year, and I think he's going top 5 this year, maybe top 10. He's definitely going top 15, and at one point you have to reach for a tackle because tackle is so important that maybe just reaching for a tackle is fine. And if you hit, no one will bring up the fact that you reach, but if you miss, you're gonna hear it. So that's a big problem. But I wouldn't really worry about that. For the Titans, they're really lacking some edge threat or some linebacking or just anything on the edge. why don't we get two of their needs? They need edge and linebacker. This thing thinks. I think that's a perfect fit for them. Arvo Reese can play both. You're taking him for his edge potential, but you can also take him for his off the ball linebacking because he can do good there too. The tape wasn't great against Miami, but you're taking him for his edge threat potential, and you can develop him into a star edge. You can be kind of like a Michael Parsons type guy where he played some off ball, but recently played edge and played really good, like Abdul Carter, who played really good on edge, but was recently an off ball linebacker. So there's some areas there, but again, those type of prospects, Abdul Carter, Michael Parsons, both very good football players. So I think those guys I think Arvo Reese could turn to one of those guys who are a complete game wrecker, and you can really do that. And edge is one of the most important positions in football. So taking Arvo Reese here isn't a bad choice. And I think you should do that. With the Giants. The Giants at 5. Usually I would have them training back, but again, this is the problem with meaningless wins. I didn't make a video about this yesterday, but the problem with meaningless wins, so I'm going to make a video about this eventually. It's going to be a long video. The problem with meaningless, dumb wins, they did this shit with Tommy DeVito too. You ruin your fucking chances of getting a franchise-changing guy, or at least trading back. They lost on Drake May, Caleb Williams, and Jane Daniels, all 3 elite quarterback prospects, all 3 good quarterback players. Drake May, Caleb Williams, case in point. Jane Daniels, case in point, went to the championship last year, NFC championship last year. I mean, the problem with these meaningless cultural wins is the fact that you don't get a trade back and you don't get the prospect either. Being stuck in this 5 to 10 range and constantly being stuck in purgatory like the Giants have for years, Jets have for years, is bad. And even when the Jets do good, I'm talking about both New York teams. Even when the Jets do good, they whiff on a pick or they somehow waste Sam Darnold, or they somehow they fuck up on Sanchez, or they do something wrong, and that's the problem. And you just have to blame the organization for letting you get these meaningless wins. I know every NFL team wants to win, but when you're eliminated by November, I'm talking about the Giants right now, if you're eliminated by November, every single year in, year out, and you're going 2-7 to start seasons, 3 years in a row, something has to change. And these meaningless culture wins at the end, when you're projected to have the first round pick and then you win against the Colts by like fucking 40, and that doesn't make anything, and then you win against the Raiders by over 20 plus points, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything to the organization. You're gonna be stuck with less draft picks, and more draft picks equal more capital and more players. And I know this draft class isn't that good as compared to the other ones, but next year's draft class is elite. I know we say this a lot, but next year's draft class is literally elite. There's a generational wide receiver prospect. There's generational edge threats in Colin Simmons and Dylan Stewart. Like there's so much. There's Arch Manning, who is leading the Heisman preseason odds. Like, and that guy isn't even draft eligible this year. It's crazy, man. And the same shit, bro. It's the same shit every single year for the Giants and the Jets. It's the same shit where I know the Jets are getting their quarterback in this mock draft, but sometimes they just don't, and sometimes they just win these meaningless games. Especially with the Giants. The Giants do this shit all the time. They get these meaningless wins and they don't do anything with them, and they end up getting they're stuck getting like an Abdul Carter, who they already have that position, but they're just getting it because the value's too good to turn down. Which obviously you can get those blue chip guys, but you can get those blue chip guys when you actually need to win more. And I don't know. I can go on about this. I will make a video about this. These meaningless fucking wins and how it ruined some franchises. But it's So anyways, I'm done yapping. I'll go with Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate's very good. Route running, size, speed, all that's there. Home run playability has been very good. He didn't play good against Miami, but year round he's been playing very good, and he's not even the best wide receiver on his team. And that's even crazy to think about, because he's going top 5. He's not even the best wide receiver on his team. Jeremiah Smith is that good. So, Carnell Tate's good. Jeremiah Smith's better. Browns. Plethora of ways. I think you go. I don't know, actually. I think you go Francis Mauigoa. I like Francis Mauigoa. He played really good against Ohio State. Played really good against A&M. He's looked good. He's looked big. You can play him a tackle regard. No matter what, you're gonna get a good value. He's big, physical. He's not as big as a Caden Proctor, but he's pretty big. And I think you can use his ability to just make him block, and the offensive line needs help because there's a bunch of terrorists there. So we'll go there. This is interesting. So for the Commanders, I haven't taken edge no matter what. It's just a matter of who. Do you take Folk, Bain, Bailey? Those 3 are like the most you can take without reaching. And I think Bain has done so well on tape, but I think you take Bailey here. The problem with Bane is that some of his bend and his footwork issues and his arms are short, so we'll see that in the combine and his pro days. But and now we're getting closer to those dates, and where people are actually declaring. I think David Bailey is good. David Bailey, again, there's this concern on the run, but pass he's been very good. Against Oregon. Sorry, I almost said Miami. Against Oregon, the other day, he did pretty good, and he was getting there. He was getting home. That Texas Tech defense played decent in the first half. I didn't get to see the entire game because I was on the way to the Rose Bowl, but it was a very good game. And I think David Bailey played really good. He was getting pass bat downs. He was reaching the quarterback. Even in the run, he wasn't doing so bad either. So I think take David Bailey here, and Dan Quinn again. History with edge. He was a linebacker and edge rusher coach when he was not head coaching or coordinating. So there's differences, but I think David Bailey is a good pick. And the Saints, Ruben Bain falls right to them. Ruben Bain has been very good in the playoffs. He terrorized A&M. He terrorized Marcel Reed. He also terrorized Julian Sang for a little bit. And Miami's defense has shown up in big games, and I think Ruben Bain has been a very big part. Messidor and Bain have been like Batman and Robin. Obviously, Ruben Bain is the Batman because he's going top 10, but Messidor has been very good. I think Messidor can really rise and up his draft stock too in his pro days. But I think Ruben Bain has been very good, and he's so violent. He's so quick. The bend isn't there, like I said, and the arm length and some of the footwork can get a little sloppy, but his strength and pure violence can get him top 10, and I think he will do great in Saints. And Saints are really a sneaky good roster. They've strung together some games, and I think they can make some noise next year in a weak division. I'm not sold on the Bucks, and I'm also not sold on the Panthers. So I think the Saints can make some noise in a weak division. So the Chiefs, so you can go Downs. I think Downs would work here. The problem is that Downs, like, do you take a safety top 10? And I don't really hate the safety duo in Kansas City, and I think Jeremiah Love just works better. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL very late in the season, and there's I think I read a timeline where he's coming back October. And why would you take a risk of taking Downs, which that defense the offense can keep the entire Chiefs team in when Patrick Mahomes is healthy? Why not add Jeremiah Love to help that backup quarterback who's eventually in for a couple weeks for the Chiefs, and eventually help Mahomes in too when he's back out? I think Jeremiah Love will work perfectly here. I think Jeremiah Love is a very good picker. He's very good in the pass catching. He's also very good running, and I think that offensive lines have a little wishy-washy sometimes, but I think Jeremiah Love can really accentuate this defense, or accentuate this offense and really ascend them to a better standard where they already were. And old man Travis Kelce can't be getting all those targets anymore, and the wide receivers aren't good enough to the point where I'm being like, okay, yeah, the backup quarterback can feel comfortable. You want to make sure that the Chiefs aren't digging themselves out of a hole. You want to make sure they keep themselves even steady throughout the year so they can eventually make that playoff push and not waste Mahomes' prime and potentially just be stuck in a hole the entire season next season. So I think Jeremiah Love can help you do that. It's going to be an important draft for the Chiefs, though, because if they fuck up, I mean, it's over. But the Bengals, I'm going Caleb Downs. So the thing with Caleb Downs is safety. He's one of those blue chip players. I think Ruben Bain, David Bailey, Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs. You could say Fernando Mendoza is a blue chip prospect. I mean, no blue chip, non blue chip prospect wins Heisman. But so Alvaro Reese and Fano and Mauigoa, like those are all top 10 players, like blue chip players. I think when you reach a little bit, it's like the Cardinal Tates, Dante Moores, even the David Bailey, like I can kind of see too. But I think Caleb Downs is one of those blue chip prospects. I mean, the Bengals have had trouble tackling all year, and I think Caleb Downs will tackle easily. I think Caleb Downs would be great for this Bengals defense. He's a certified winner, like I said, and he will help win and bring the Bengals back to the glory days. I think this is a perfect pick. The Dolphins, I'll go with Jordan Tyson. I'm liking Makai Lemon more every single time. I think one mock draft I will have him going above maybe Carl Tate or Jordan Tyson. But Jordan Tyson is very good. He literally is so good at everything besides staying healthy. He can separate. He's good at the catch point. He's good at route running. He's good at list any good receiving trait above. There's not something he's average on. Everything's above average. It's the problem is the injuries, and teams care so much about injuries that you sometimes don't even take the chance. You take the safe prospect as Carl Tate, who is bigger and has less injury history. And teams love that more than a very elite player, but has the bad injury history. So I think Jordan Tyson can fall in drafts. But I think the Dolphins at 11 is a good value. And you need help outside of Waddle. And Tyreek, you don't know what's happening with him. So you take Jordan Tyson. Okay, so the Cowboys. Interesting scenario to put them in. I think they go Mansour Delane. Again, you just cut Diggs, and I think Delane will plug and fit perfectly in there. And I think I think he'll plug and fit perfectly in there. I think he'll do wonders there. I think Bland is not a certified capable corner one, and I think Delane will step in. And I think he can take over that role instantly. And you're paying Bland so much money that you have to take a rookie this round, because do you want to pay another corner, I don't know, upmost so much money? Like, you don't want to do that. So I think Delane would be a good fit here. He's been very good this year at LSU and playing against good competition. So I like that. So the drop off for tackles for the Rams is pretty big. I don't really like anybody here. I'm gonna be so honest. I think you go Jamal McCoy. Again, injury history, I know, but ACL, you have to see his pro day, you have to see his combine, you have to see everything. If he decides to go for the combine, you have to see that. You have to see pro day, interviews, everything. You have to see the entire behind-the-scenes product. But on the on-field product, he's so good to the point where you might have to take the chance. And I like Quinton Lake. I don't like anything else in there. The corners there, I don't think the Manuel Forbes experiment wasn't that good. You just gotta try the Jamal McCoy pick. He was by far the best corner in college football last year before his first ACL, and I think taking him here is worth the risk, and it's not worth the risk on a wide receiver or even a drop off in tackles, because other than Fano and Mauigoa, the tackle class isn't that good, and there's a lot of depth and there's a lot of later round picks you can get for good value. But like the next one, this mock draft has him, or the sim has him, Caleb Lomu, Caden Proctor, Blake Miller, Serval. These guys, all of these guys under Caleb Lomu and Proctor are all round 2, round 3 picks. Like they're day 2, day 3 picks. All of these guys, and that's the problem. There's not really top end offensive line talent in this, other than the two main ones. Maybe these guys, maybe these guys, and Vega Ione and Preglon and Rutledge maybe. There's not a lot. We're scavenging through very little, and I think taking Jamal McCoy here is a good pick because you have the best corner in college football who's coming off an injury. I know, but I think Jamal McCoy will do wonders in LA, and I think Sean McVay or Shula, if he's still there this year, will find a way to incorporate him into a dominant role, and I think he can turn into one of the best corners in the NFL. Okay, a lot of issues with the Ravens. They just missed the kick. They're out. The playoffs. Again, it might seem redundant. I'm gonna go Peter Woods. You know what happens with Nani Matabike. He might come back. The other guy they extended, Jonathan Jones. I don't think he's works. I don't think he's really that worth the. He's not keeping you from drafting Peter Woods. That's what I'm saying. He's not like a Dexter Lawrence type or a Christian Wilkins type where he's like so good. But I think Peter Woods is very good. And I think Peter Woods can immediately take over that defensive tackle role. The Bucks, I have him going. Where's Sonny Styles? Sonny Styles. I'm going Sonny Styles. I think you need a linebacker to replace that core. That core is getting young, you need to build that core young again, and the core is getting old. So I think Sonny Styles will work perfectly. He doesn't really miss that many tackles. He's fast. He can cover. I think he can really turn into a great pro. But the problem is, he just, I don't know. There's really no true problem. He's big. He's fast. He played on one of the best defenses, and was one of the few superstars on that team on Ohio State. Few as in quotation marks, but you know what I mean. Like he's good. That's all I gotta say. He's good. Yeah. Jets. Do you want Quinton Williams replacement? I don't know if you do. Quarterback. They already took fucking Dante Moore. So I don't think Sadiq's in play either. I really don't like Ty Simpson. I just really don't. I really don't. I'll take Keldrick Folk. Keldrick Folk is one of the most sound run-stopping prospects in this draft, but in passing can get a little wishy-washy. But I think you could really use a true edge threat, and I lost Quinnen to the Dallas Cowboys, who's been playing really good at the Cowboys, might I add. You can really get that guy because I don't think Mozzie Smith is in your long-term replacement ideal. So I think Keldrick Folk can plug in and be very good and very dominant. He's young. He's going to turn 20 in September. And he's 6'6". He's 6'6". He's not 6'5". I don't know why they have him this. He's 6'6", and he's 288. And I know that for sure that he's 6'6", because I've seen that in multiple other sites and other mock draft sims. So I think Keldrick Folk is the perfect fit for the Jets, for barring a Quinn Williams replacement. The Lions. There's so many problems. I guess I'll go Caleb Lomu, but I really don't think it's worth it, in my opinion, because I feel like Caleb Lomu is kind of a reach in some cases. But the drop off for edges too after those 2 or 3 guys like LTO, Timoteo Ukulele, DJ Parker are not really top guys, in my opinion. It's a struggle. It's a real struggle. I think you have to go with Lomu. I think Lomu's very good. Play rec is okay. He's a little fast. He's not as strong as Fano, but he's a good prospect. He can probably learn behind some of that Dan Campbell offensive line scheme, I guess. He can learn behind Sewell, and then when Decker's ready to go, if he's not retiring this year, once he's ready to go, maybe put in Caleb Lomu. But you need offensive line help. Jared Goff has been, that right side of the line is very bad, or whatever side Sewell isn't on, the other side is really bad, and it's getting old, and there's a lot of injuries there. So I think Caleb Lomu can work perfectly fine. He's fast, and he can be a good complement to Penei Sewell, who's just good at everything. Caleb Lomu can also help with the screen passes and run for him, Jahmyr Gibbs, and maybe David Montgomery if he decides to resign. So with the Vikings, you would really like Caleb Downs, but I think Avion Terrell is a good pick. Avion Terrell can play nickel or he can play boundary. I think it'll be fine. I think he'll do good. Avion Terrell, the tape for Clemson players haven't been that great, but I think Avion Terrell is good to the point where you can justify taking him 18th. And if it's not going to be the Vikings, it's going to be one of these later teams. So might as well take Avion Terrell when you can, because I don't think he falls out the first round. So I think Avion Terrell is a good picker, and he will plug in instantly for a Vikings team who needs corners. The Cowboys. A lot of interesting choices. You can go here. You'd like to take a linebacker here, but the problem is Sonny Styles is gone. Will you take C.J. Allen, Trotter, Hill? I don't know if you would take that, and that's the real problem. Maybe take an edge off of for Azuruka, but again, the drop-off is so crazy. You're going to have to reach for somebody. I think you reach for Allen. C.J. Allen's been good at Georgia. Just got knocked out of the playoffs, but he's been good. He's a good tackler. He has good coverage, and he's explosive. So I think he can go for the Cowboys, especially with Overshown and Logan Wilson, who he didn't play a snap a couple weeks ago. He didn't play one snap, and they traded for him. I don't understand the move. So C.J. Allen, I guess, but it's grim there at the linebacking core. That's the worst defense, and they just fired Eberflus. So why not get some new guys to help in and make this a defensive focused first round with Delane and Allen. So I think that's a good pick. And then with the Chargers, we'll go Ione. Vega Ione has been very good. He's I think my favorite guard prospect. My favorite offensive lineman prospect. He's been very good at Penn State. Other than Mauigoa, he's probably my favorite offensive lineman prospect. That middle of the line is so bad. Other than Slater and Alt, that line is so mid, and it's so bad for Herbert because Zion Johnson is not good. All those guys in there, let's look at the depth chart. It's just not good. Zion Johnson's been bad. Bradley Bozeman's been bad, and Becton's okay. I think you can wait on a Becton replacement, but Zion Johnson's been very bad, and you're gonna have to place Vega on at left guard because Zion Johnson's been so bad to the point where you need to get a replacement from now. And you know how much Jim loves his offensive lineman, so take Vega. The Bills. There's many ways you can go. I just love the Mekhi Lemon pick here. I think Mekhi Lemon is such a good prospect. I think this is more of a slot guy. He's not that big bruiser catch point guy. Not like a Denzel Boston. He's basically the complete opposite of Denzel Boston. I just love Mekhi Lemon so much because there's no dropping risk. He doesn't have a hands problem. There's not really much problems. He just won the Blitnikoff. He's so good. I really love Mekhi Lemon as a prospect. I think, honestly, I prefer Mekhi Lemon over Jordan Tyson. Just people will love the upside for Jordan Tyson. But Mekhi Lemon, what do you ask for him? He does. Some tricky screen plays or some jump ball. He's good at the catch point enough to the point where I feel confident he's better than Denzel Boston. There's no way Mekhi Lemon goes after Denzel Boston. There's no way. And I think Mekhi Lemon is so good that he's worth the pick. And I think Josh Allen gets his good true number one wide receiver since Diggs. And I think that's a perfect fit for him and his coaching staff too. I think Mekhi Lemon will be wonders in Buffalo. The Niners. So with Ayuk on their way out, I'm going to go Denzel Boston. Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall have been fine. Ricky Pearsall is just never there. And Kendrick Bourne's been fine too, I guess. But I think Denzel Boston will be that number one guy who you rely on. I think Juwan Jennings can be a number 2. Pearsall can be number 3. And Kendrick Bourne can be number 3. Whatever you want. And I think Denzel Boston can be the number one guy. He's very big. He's a very big guy. There's a little footwork concern. There's a little route running concern. But he's very good at the catch point. And he's been very good at Washington this year. So I think you take Denzel Boston here. And you would like an offensive tackle. But I don't think Caden Proctor is worth the pick. Or Blake Miller. But that's just me though. But for the Texans, I think Caden Proctor works good because you need offensive linemen, and the offensive line hasn't been good. Ever since trading away Laremy Tunsil, it's kind of fallen apart. CJ Stroud's getting hit. I think the Texans are probably my favorite to win the Super Bowl. Might sound crazy. I haven't done the picks yet, but Denzel Boston Caden Proctor is very good. He's very big, 6'6", 369. He can very easily move to guard, but I think you take him for whatever he wants. Whatever the coaching staff thinks he does, you're just taking him for depth. And I think you can move him to guard, you can move him to tackle. I think guard will work better because he's a little bigger and he doesn't move as well. But again, you don't know. He's just good, and you need depth at that position. The Rams. So you would like an offensive tackle here. You'd like to Blake Miller, but again, the drop off is so much. You took McCoy. You just need an offensive line help, or you could take Kenyon Sadiq, which I've been thinking about, and I think I'm going to do it. Sure, Matthew Stafford doesn't need any more help. He has Puka, Adams, Corum, whoever you want. Like, whatever you want to say. Even Robinson's been fine. But Sadiq will accentuate this offense so much to a point where you don't even know. I'm so high on Sadiq on a prospect. I think he'll be very good. I think he's more like a Darren Waller type guy where he's so fast. He can hit so many plays. He's so good. And he's so good at the catch point. There's shit I've seen where he's come down with balls where I'm like, how did he even catch that? There's one against Texas Tech last week where he just palmed it. He literally palmed it like this. And grabbed it and put it in it and fell down. He's so good on the catch point, and he has such good hands for a talented prospect that I think he can produce anywhere he go. I think Kenyon Sadiq is a good prospect for the value you get him at. 24 is very good. Tight ends, you don't take him very high, but Kenyon Sadiq is very good. You've seen that with Brock Bowers too. Brock Bowers went 9th. And I love that for the Raiders because they hit on that prospect. And it was a good pick. I really liked the Bowers pick. I thought the Raiders nailed that pick. And I think Kenyon Sadiq can be one of those players where if you get him, you nail the draft because he's so good. And this tight end class isn't bad per se. Delp is good. I like Stowers a lot, but he's probably a day 3 pick. Trigg, I'm not very sold on. Claire was okay. Daquan Wright was pretty good at Ole Miss. He still has some games to play, but I think Kenyon Sadiq is by far obviously the number 1 tight end prospect. But he's very good. And I think he doesn't fall out the first round. And if the Rams had the chance to get him, I think he's a perfect pick. The Panthers. There's issues. That somehow went into the playoffs. I think they take edge here. I think you go TJ Parker. It's a little reach. TJ Parker's a speedy guy, but I think the edge room is lacking so much in Carolina that you think you take TJ Parker here. I don't love TJ Parker as a prospect. I don't think he's gonna do wonders for them. I don't think he's going to be like a instant success, like a Arvo Reese or like a Ruben Bain type player, but I think he'll be good, and he can be a good rotation rusher or even a good 3-down rusher if he really hones in on his skills. And he was very good on tape a couple years ago, so I think the potential can be there, and I think he's a good pick. Okay, for the Steelers, I have him going Casey Concepcion. Casey Concepcion has been very good. He's more of a specialist type guy. He's more a punt returner, specialist guy, slot guy. I think he can do well as a contrast to DK Metcalf, and literally Aaron Rodgers or whoever that quarterback next year is going to be, they're going to be throwing plumbers and DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf has been very good. You felt his absence a lot, especially in the Browns game. You felt his absence. There's no red zone threat. There's no real fear factor in that receiver room. So I think Casey Concepcion can do well as a contrast to the Steelers, and I think he's good for the value you get him at. The Eagles, I have him going either an edge or a corner or even tackle. But I don't want to reach on Blake Miller. I don't think he's that good of a first-round prospect. But okay, fellas, I'm back. Okay, the Eagles, I have him going Colton Hood. I like Colton Hood as a prospect. He's very good. He's stepping for Jamal McCoy. He's young. He's good off the line. He's a little more physical than someone like a Brendan Cisse who's available, or Keith Abney who's also very more coverage based. And Colton Hood's very good though. He's very physical. He's good. He's a good tackler too. So I think the Eagles will do that. I would like to go offensive tackle if there's value available, like maybe Proctor or even Ione. The problem with that is that the Eagles line has been so underwhelming this year, and people don't notice that. There's just no real push in that line, so you can very easily go. They can very easily go tackle here, but the value's in there. I don't think Blake Miller is a first-round prospect, or the Eagles can reach. I think they need to worry more on cornerback because it's been very injured, and when it has been injured, it's been very bad. So I think Cornerhood's a good prospect. The Browns. I had the Browns. Who don't have the Browns taking? I have the Browns taking Maui Go. So you can go wide receiver here. Is there a wide receiver? This wide receiver class is very deep, and I think you can get a lot of talent. I really like Surratt, but I think Surratt's more of a second-round guy. Maybe even Omar Cooper. And Jacoby Lane, I think is the same too. I would rather take Surratt over Jacoby Lane, in my personal opinion. Or even, I don't know. I'm going to get into that later when I do 2-round mock drafts or 3-round mock drafts. Foreshadow, by the way. Let's go with the Browns. I already haven't taken a tackle. We'll take Christian Miller. I think the value is too good. You can have him on contrast to Mason Graham. I would have liked to take maybe Brandon Cisse if I had the chance, but I think Christian Miller is good, plug and play guy. The defensive line is very good. Why not make it even better? The Bears. I think you go defensive tackle again. I think you go Caden McDonald. Caden McDonald is more of a pass rushing guy than it is a run stopping guy. If you want more of a run stopping guy, Caleb Banks is very good, but the problem is he's old and he's very injured and has a lot of injury history. He had an arm problem and stuff. He's a redshirt senior. It's just some issues there. But do you want to take a chance on him? But I think Caden McDonald's a safer prospect, and he's played on a better team. And I think you can. I know teams don't really matter that much in college football as opposed to the NFL, but Caden McDonald, I think, just is a better prospect in my eyes. There's less risk. Maybe the talent's a little less there, but I think under the Bears and that defense and how turnover prone that defense is, if we stop the run, that team's really scary because that offense is very good under Ben Johnson. And then if you get a defensive coordinator who can develop him, and I think Caden McDonald can do very good. I think you don't know what the issue with the guy who just got arrested for the Pats. What's his name? Milton Williams. You know Milton Williams just got arrested. You don't know what's going on with him. So maybe take Caleb Banks as a possible replacement, and you don't ask him to immediately come in and perform. Or do you take Chris Bell, who just recently tore his ACL? Or Bernard, who I don't think can sneak in the first round. I'll go Bernard. Bernard has been good at Bama. I know Williams hasn't been that good this year, but Bernard's been one of the better wide receivers in the SEC, and he's good. I think with Diggs, you pay him one more year, or whatever, you keep him for 1 or 2 more years, and Bernard can be the wide receiver 2 guy and hopefully jump a little bit and maybe be the wide receiver 1 guy later. The problem is, if he doesn't, you're cooked. But there's also wide receivers. Wide receivers are very depth in position, so you can get a lot of value for wide receivers. It's just, do you want to take a chance on Bernard? I think you can in this mock draft. I don't think an edge is worth taking here because Mateo Ukulele can fit, I guess, but I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth it in my opinion. But with the Broncos, I'm going Chris Bell. Again, just towards ACL, but that wide receiver core and how good they are, I don't think they need to rush in a Chris Bell type player where he just tore his ACL coming off a big injury. But he can produce, and he's been very good. I think he was a clear-cut second-round prospect, maybe even sneak in the first round. I don't even couple my first-round mock drafts earlier this year. He was very good at Louisville. When Louisville was good, he's kind of an in-betweener. He's not really big, but he's not really small, and he's fast, and he can catch. I honestly like Chris Bell here. I think Chris Bell would be very good here, and personally, I think Chris Bell can, if he didn't tear his ACL, he could have gone first round, and he could have gone in this range, like the Patriots. Honestly, I would have. If Chris Bell didn't tear his ACL, the Patriots would have selected him there. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think Jeremy Bernard is a real first round talent, but I'm taking him because one, I just think you need to reach on a receiver, and the Patriots receiver is so grim. Like Drake May is throwing his digs and booty and all. It's like not great. So I think Jeremy Bernard is a good contrast and a good immediately like fit in receiver versus Chris Bell, who's going to nurse an injury. That's the main problem. And I have finally the Seahawks going Brandon Cisse. As a South Carolina fan, I love Cisse. He's less physical, but he's more coverage based. He's a real ball hawk. I can really agree that he's more of a less physical guy, and that's where he can get beat sometimes. But he's really risen a lot in my mock drafts, and I think he's a good early second, late first round guy, and I think he'll do very good for whatever team drafts him. And I think corner has been very bad. You don't know about Reek Woolen, and the only guy you have really under contract for so long is Witherspoon, who you'll have to pay in like a couple of years. So might as well get some young talent in there. And Brandon Cisse is too good for the pick to pass up on him and take something else. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining me on another Mock Draft Wednesday, and yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow with college football playoff predictions. I'll talk about more of the Indiana game, and I'll talk about who will win the Indiana Oregon game. I'll talk about who will win the Miami Ole Miss game. I'll see who wins that. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.